Warning, you are not watching Siskel and Ebert.
You are now entering Wang World.
So this time we'll go back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. Today I have a film review for Knock at a Cabin. A little late on review, but I got a motherfucking life.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
But just like everyone else that reviewed this film, you can find all of my social media in the description box down below. We also have a thanks button underneath this video. If you donate any amount of money to that, then
I appreciate that.
But let's get down to brass tacks. I gave a Knock at a Cabin 6.3 Wangs out of 10.
Why?
Because it's not a bad movie, it's just boring. And I think why I thought it was so boring is because M. Night Shyamalan made this movie. And everybody knows what that means.
What does that mean?
It means he be on some bullshit. He always has to put a twist in his movies. So I'm waiting for a stupid ass twist the whole entire time. And it never comes. Thankfully. I'm glad he didn't put a twist in there. But I was waiting for it because he has a track record of doing that. And because of him doing that, it usually fucks up the movie. So we didn't have that. We just had the plot. But the trailer showed everything the plot had to show. The plot doesn't really develop.
Oh, really? That sucks.
The honey dip I brought with me, she was thicker than the plot. And I think a problem with the plot not developing is because of our characters. The four people, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, the four disciples, whatever you want to call them. You have little to no character development. They don't need character development. They really don't. So you have the gay couple. Essentially, the child doesn't need any development right now. You just need her to see things from a different point of view and a different light to add in things you wouldn't think about as an adult in that situation. So we have this gay couple. That's where the character development is going to come from. And we kind of get details about their lives, but not really. And I think a problem with that is making it in flashbacks. Flashbacks that give us little information about these characters we are supposed to invest in. And the flashbacks are basic anyways.
You're basic.
M. Night Shyamalan, he's not breaking ground with their lives with new interesting details. It's stuff we've seen many times before. But what he's also doing, he's breaking the tension up. So the tension, the investment I'm building in between these flashbacks is now taken away because here's a scene from 2009. Like, I give a fuck about what happened to these people in 2009. I barely give a fuck about them now. And when I was starting to, you said, you put the kibosh on it. And you said, nah, learn a little bit about them. But a good, smart director, like a Spielberg, like a Jordan Peele, if you do what they or Tarantino, he loves putting meaningless conversations in movies. And it works great for him. Have a scene like Nope, where you just put them in the house. You have them talking. We get 10 minutes for them to get to know one another. Like, in the beginning, not Nope. What was it called?
6 hours later.
Get Out. Get Out had a very strong establishing scene while they're packing. Look, they're packing too. You can rip them off. No one's really going to be like, oh, he ripped off Get Out. No, because establishing shots in cinema are lifelong. I mean, you look at Rear Window, all the way back in the 60s and 70s, Alfred Hitchcock's doing that shit. Rear Window being the best example of letting you know who the characters are before the film starts. And M. Night Shyamalan, if he would have did that here, I would have felt stronger for these characters 15, 20 minutes later, instead of kind of sort of caring about them, but not really at the end of the movie.
That's actually a good point.
It would also help if the caliber of acting was knocked up one or two more notches in this film. The acting is fine. It's nothing to write home to Ma about. The only person who stands out in this movie is Big Dave. Dave Bautista. He does his fucking thing. He's so believable in this movie. His intentions, I believed him. And that was the only character I was really invested in because his acting was so good. he was speaking. I was like getting down with what he was saying. I felt how he felt. There was no malice in his heart. He's an approachable dude. However, it's kind of a square peg in a round hole situation because it took me a while to get used to Batista being that person. Batista's not a second grade teacher. Batista's a fucking professional wrestler. I've seen him hit people in the back with barbed wire steel chairs. He took The Undertaker and threw that fucker off the stage. Like, you could have had someone better in that role, but Batista showed he has acting range and did a great job with what was given to him.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Directed, again, is fine. I think he's a bit past his prime, in my personal opinion. M. Night Shyamalan made a lot of good movies starting out. Had hit a very, very rough patch. Came out with The Visit and Split, which, good movies. Visit, not so much. I think it's fine. But Split, that's a great movie. It changed his world. And then he started coming out with some hot garbage. But this one, I thought it was pretty decent overall, and his directing in it was just that. It was fine. It was decent. There's some really cool camera shots. Camera movements are great. He did his thing where he's Alfred Hitchcock. I'll throw myself in the movie and hide it. That was kind of cool. He didn't pay much attention to the CGI because the CGI was ass, whether it was on the TV screen or whether it was in the background. It wasn't very good at all. But overall, A Knock at a Cabin was just
Good enough.
Did you think it was good enough? I don't know, which is why you can tell Strange Wang in the comment section below your thoughts and opinions about this film. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video.
And then what?
Subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.